short talk. Although this introduction to TCM is for beginners, but the major theories will be covered, and you will understand basically what TCM is and how it works. And you also will learn how TCM doctors diagnose and treat patients. But it's all very basic knowledge. So if you want to learn more, you can take the course. My outline is what is TCM and a very short background and some major underlying concepts of TCM and the diagnostics and treatments. Sorry. What is traditional Chinese medicine exactly? Let's start from this great Chinese woman. I think everybody probably knows. She received 2015 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. And when she was accepting the Nobel Prize in 2015, her lecture was entitled Discovery of Artemisinin, a gift from traditional Chinese medicine to the world. She also addressed to the world that traditional Chinese medicine is a vast treasure house that we really should fully explore and improve. Everybody knows that artemisinin is an anti-malarial naturally occurring chemical which saved millions of people in the world. And it was discovered through information of traditional Chinese medicine classics. So this is a typical example to prove that traditional Chinese medicine and modern Western medicine have their own unique, strong points. And when the two are combined in a way that complements the other, a whole new range of potential and promising future is opened. So everything actually is relative. Chinese medicine as a traditional Chinese medicine, it was at that time modern medicine. It's a medicine before Western medicine came to China. And we probably will have future medicine. So they are all medicine. What is medicine? The term of TCM is traditional Chinese medicine. So what is actually medicine? We probably know, we think we know, but do we really know? The goals of medicine encompass the relief of pain and suffering, the promotion of health, and the prevention of disease, and the forestalling the death and the promoting of a peaceful death, the cure of disease when possible, and the care of those who cannot be cured. So it doesn't matter traditional medicine, modern medicine, future medicine, and this is medicine. What is traditional Chinese medicine? Another definition we need to know is what is traditional medicine. The WHO, World Health Organization, define traditional medicine as follows. Traditional medicine has a long history. It is the sum total of the knowledge, skill, and practices based on the theories, beliefs, and experiences indigenous to different cultures, whether applicable or not. But I was the reason I highlight those words because I think when we think it's not we can't explain it because we always use modern science to try to explain Chinese medicine. But all the other traditional medicine includes traditional Chinese medicine. They have their complete medical system, so they can explain themselves. But maybe personally, I think modern science can explain traditional medicine one in the future. But because science are very young, science is a young system. So for the moment, it cannot explain it, but one day it can. Carry on. Used in the maintenance of health as well as in the prevention, diagnosis, improvement, or treatment of physical and mental illness. So it's all matching Western medicine, traditional Chinese medicine. And this is from our ATCM website. What is traditional Chinese medicine? Obviously, it's not difficult to understand. Traditional Chinese medicine is a medical system that developed in China over 1,000 years. From China, traditional medicine. So I'm not going to read those because it's quite long. I don't want to waste time. You can find all those things on website. Right. So we always compare the modern medicine with traditional medicine. What really the difference between Western medicine and the traditional medicine? I found this chart on internet. I think it makes sense. And in reality, Western medicine, they had traditional Western medicine as well before the modern science established. So, but that will be a long story. Today, we particularly talk about this difference between modern Western medicine and traditional Chinese medicine. As you can see, the Western modern science, because Western modern medicine, they are based on the modern science. They treat body, the theory, the treatment, diagnose, all like a machine. It's and you can when the technique or science developed, you can change heart. When your heart is broken, you can change heart. You can change a limb. You can change it. But Chinese medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, treat body as a natural, kind of like a garden. They have, when things get wrong, you give them nutrition to boost. When some toxic thing inside, you need to remove them. So you take it like organic as a whole. So that's the main difference between them. And in Chinese medicine is part of the Oriental medicine, but Oriental medicine actually is basically influenced by Chinese medicine. Even like acupuncture in East, we have Chinese acupuncture, Japan, Korea, and that is a joke. So they all have different technique but they all developed from Chinese acupuncture originally. It doesn't matter. I think some of them probably doesn't want to admit it, but for me, that's the fact. So we have different technique. Like Japanese acupuncture is very shallow, but they all worked. And Korea, they are very For the moment, they are very, sorry, what is that? Admit, sorry. Career acupuncture, they are very advanced with cosmetic acupuncture, all sorts of different techniques. I don't know if you have heard threading for cosmetic purpose. It's actually, we use threading in China a lot, but the threading, career threading technique actually has been registered in UK for cosmetic, but only surgeon can do it. So we can't say they stole our technique because they registered it earlier. And just like we invented gunpowder, but European used the gunpowder to invade China. That's the same thing. Maybe not same thing, sorry, but similar thing. What is that? Okay. The background of Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine, the theory behind the Chinese medicine is Taoism. And Taoism is the, some of them called Taoism. So it's Tao actually in China, in Chinese means a path, a road. Basically, it's a road to the truth, the natural law. So we have those theory behind the Chinese medicine. We try to understand the nature, the body, everything. And this is, in Chinese culture, Taoism is everywhere in our life. You have to understand Tao to understand Chinese culture, Chinese medicine, basically everything. And this is a cartoon, a picture to just show you how we discovered acupuncture. People probably were hurt by one point and they find their pain in other places are relieved. And that's how we gradually know all the different points in your body actually can relieve the pain or relieve some other symptoms. So Chinese medicine, the history of Chinese medicine, you can see sometimes they say 2,000 years, 3,000 years, 5,000 years. It's actually probably only from what we can, what we kept the record, we can say 5,000, because Chinese civilization is around, what, 5,000 years, but the classic book we have the earliest, probably only between 2,000 to 3,000 years. But the practice must be a lot longer, and you don't know, maybe we lost to some classics. So it could be longer than we think. 10 minutes. The major, and next we're going to talk about the major underlying concepts of TCM. If you are a real beginner of TCM, it's probably a bit difficult to understand. But everybody probably heard about yin and yang theory. Yin and yang is probably the most known and documented concept used within Taoism and TCM. Of course, if you don't understand yin and yang, you won't understand TCM. Let's talk about just a little bit. And the word yin comes out to mean shady side. The dark side is yin, and the yang is sunny side, the bright side. So everything light, bright, like sun, it's yang. It's yang, and everything is strong, dry, hot, assertive, like fire. It's yang. And if it's male, positive, heaven, light, spring, summer, everything grow, it's yang. And if you understand yang, you will understand yin. It's the opposite. But you can see, even just the bright side, we have a little dark dot inside, because yin and yang, you have yin inside yang, and you have yang inside yin, yin inside, yang inside yin. So that can be balanced. It's actually a balanced system because everything is about balance in TCM. And if you really understand yin and yang, you probably can play stock market also quite well, because it's also a balanced system. And this is another picture I downloaded from internet, because it's a little bit different, like male, day, hollow, dry, summer, birth, large, hot, that's yang. Female, I don't think it's, how do you call it, sexist. It's just different concept. Female is yin, night, solid, moist, winter, death, small, cold, everything, you know, I think you can feel it, is yin. And the second very important concept, the theory, is 5 elements theory. It's also not only in TCM, it's actually in the Chinese culture everywhere. 5 elements theory is a Chinese philosophy used to describe interactions and the relationships between things. The 5 elements is wood, fire, earth, metal, water, and it also corresponds to 5 organs if you learn Chinese medicine. And they are believed to be the fundamental elements of everything in the universe, and between which interactions occur. And the human body, just like the entire universe, is made up of the 5 elements as well. So you can see this term is generating interactions. So wood generate fire. That's quite easy for you to understand, right? Wood generate fire. Fire generates earth. And earth generates metal. Metal generates water. Water generates wood. It's circle forever. And this is the red arrow indicate overcoming interactions. Wood overcome earth, and earth overcome water. It's also quite easy. You can imagine quite easily what the reason why they overcome others. And the water overcome fire. The water can overcome fire, fire overcome metal, and metal overcome wood. It's not difficult to understand. So the traditional medicine is always come from nature. People didn't have all the modern techniques, so they try to understand the world by nature. That's why it's actually make a lot of sense. And all our organs is correspond to those 5 elements as well. Liver is wood, heart is fire, The spleen is earth, lung is metal, and the kidney is water. And the color also indicate the 5 elements as well, accordingly. And this is probably most talked concept, qi. And qi is the energy of life. One of the most important factors is the energy of life, which keeps us alive. But when we think, it's not, sorry, admit. When you think about the civilization, Chinese was one of the earliest civilization, but also.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jing, I accidentally admitting someone and muted you. 1 minute. Can you unmute yourself? I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Unmute yourself.
Can you hear me again?
Yeah, yes. Accident.
It's okay. So the civilization like Greek, India, and even Egyptian, they all have the concept of qi, but we are one of them. And the qi definition is life force or living energy that sustains life of organs, cells, tissue, and blood. Chinese refer to the life force as qi or qi, the same, and Hindus call it prana. Greeks know it as pneuma. Japanese refer to it as ki, but I still think it's from Chinese qi. They just pronounce in a different way, as they always do. Name. So there are different names, but it's the philosophy is they try to understand what keeps us alive, and human being always philosophy and science, they all try to understand the whole world and the universe and human being and what's going on in the world. We are curious creature. Another very important concept is channels, and sometimes probably you will see meridians or even other names. I can't remember. There are a lot of different translation, but I personally prefer channels rather than meridians, because channels is alive. There is water running in the channels, just like qi is flowing in the channels. Meridian is a man-made concept. It's not existing. It's fake. It's something we imagine it's existing, and there's nothing wrong in the meridians. But we have to know both of them, because, or even more, because when you read books, there are different translations. You need to know what is meridian, but it's my personal view of the translation. You can agree or disagree, it's fine. So channels, there are the qi cannot flow without a path, and the path is channel. So when you learn acupuncture, you need to learn the 12 channels and more than the channel is everywhere. We have very like micro channels without a name, but qi is running in your body everywhere. So only 12 meridian or 12 channel is not enough. So they basically cover your whole body, and they they transfer all the nutrition to everywhere to nourish your muscle, your tissue, your skin, your hair, whatever you think, you name it. It's very, very important system. And I'm not going to make the channel concept to modern science way, because you probably will connect it to vein, to nerves. But the thing is, as I said earlier, it's Chinese medicine is a complete medical system. When you just started to learn it, you have to empty all your previous knowledge, because it's easier for you to understand. The logic of Chinese medicine is the Chinese medicine theory. It's not the modern science theory. But once you learned and you are very familiar with the TCM concept, you can think a lot more than Chinese medicine itself. You can make the connections to whatever you want, because it's good for Chinese medicine. It's good for, and it's good for you to make other people to understand the Chinese medicine. But in the beginning, probably to empty your knowledge is the best way to learn it. And the next, 5 minutes. The next one is the 8 principles of theory. This is basically is the Chinese simplest diagnose technique, but it's yin and yang, deficiency and excess, cold, heat, internal, external, to diagnose the pattern of the patient's illness, and then to enable the doctor to give the patient a proper treatment plan. But all of them, like deficiency actually is yin, cold is yin, internal is yin, and excess is yang, heat is yang. So everything is based on yin and yang. It doesn't matter what they are called. The Bible of TCM is 黄帝内经, the Yellow Emperor's classic of medicine. Everybody should read it in the future if you learn Chinese medicine. All the knowledge actually is based on, this is the earliest TCM classic we can find, but I still believe there may be more. We lost it. And TCM diagnosis, traditional Chinese medicine practitioners perform their clinical assessment through 4 diagnostic methods. In Chinese, we call it 望闻问切. 望 is inspections. Is inspecting a patient, how they move. You just look at them, and look at them, and if they move properly, or their complexion, and look at their tongue, and look at the secretions. So, and like even urine, stool. But tongue diagnosis is one of the most important to diagnose technique in Chinese medicine. You probably will learn as a course for it reflects the whole body in different parts of your tongue, and the color, tongue coating, and the shape of the tongue. It shows inside of your body what's happening. It's amazing. I like it, and I really think it's so useful when you practice Chinese medicine. Wen is listening and smelling. In Chinese, we all call it wen. So you listen the people's, for instance, like coughing, the whistle, and indicates the asthma, for instance, from this picture. And you also smell the phlegm. When it's smelling, it means something, right? When it's smell really bad, you probably have infections inside. And in 问 is inquiring, asking. You ask the patient all the questions. It might be related, so it give you a lot of informations. It's the same as Western medicine doctor, but they probably, because the GP, they're too busy to ask, so they always give you 1 minute. Palpation is another technique equivalent to like tongue diagnose. We palpate your wrist. There are so many things to feel, the strength, the speed, everything, and it will be a course as well. It's very complicated. But the palpitation is also will tell you, like tongue, it tells you a lot information from inside of your body. Right, so after that 4 diagnosis methods, then the doctor will have a syndrome differentiation, then to basically know what's happening, what's wrong with the patient. Then they will give you a treatment plan. If you have too much cold, we remove the cold. If you have too much heat, we remove the heat. So we use either acupuncture or herbs to make a balance. So our mission is balance your body. Okay, TCM treatment, I think a lot of people actually know. Acupuncture, I'm not going to explain what is acupuncture. I think you all know what is acupuncture. And moxibustion. Moxibustion is a therapy that we use the moxa, what kind of herb you burn. But when you see those, normally it's not directly on the skin. We use piece of ginger or some cream to stop burning the skin, leave the scalp. But there is technique. There are moxibustion technique to particularly make scar to treat the problems. But it's very brutal, so we don't really use it here because English people are very fragile. And sorry, 推拿 massage. It's Tina massage is a combination of massage, acupressure. Basically, it's an alternative way for acupuncture. It also goes through all the channels, acupoints, and it's different from normal massage in Western country. It's based on the channel system. Cupping. Cupping and scraping, we don't use that much here because it will leave. Actually, I do cupping. I use a lot of patients actually when they understand TCM, they will ask you to have cupping therapy. And scraping, if you explain it very well, they also can accept scraping. It will leave some red marks, but it will disappear in a week time, maximum maybe 2 weeks. And they all can flow the blood, improve blood circulation. Chinese herbs, which is very as important as acupuncture. Chinese herbs in Western country is not as widely accepted as acupuncture because people think Chinese herbs has some side effects. But if you learn it properly and use it properly, it only balances your body. Of course, if you don't know the knowledge, it might have some side effects. And that's why we all need to qualify to practice Chinese medicine. Right, and Chinese nutrition and Chinese people are very keen on food. As you know, our food culture is one of the best in the world. And Chinese nutrition, Chinese food is also related to Chinese medicine theory. In a lot of area, they use daily food to treat their own problems. They have, because most of the Chinese people, they have a very basic knowledge of TCM. It's in our life, we grow with Chinese medicine knowledge. And the lifestyle recommendation, like Dr. Xing Mei, she also teach like Tai Chi, Qigong, and all sorts of different things. And also in Chinese medicine, if you read Huangji Neijing, you also know they also tell you what time to get up, what time to go to bed, and maybe when do you need to marry, when do you need to have a kid, everything, what time and what kind of period in your life is the best time to do certain particular things, which maybe is not something in Western country, but it gives you a very good advice of your life. And the only aim of all Chinese medicine knowledge is make your life healthier and make your life longer and enjoy your life a bit more than normal. So relieve the pain, relieve all the illness. And I still believe all the knowledge you are going to learn will change your life and also will enable you to help others, your family, your friends. Thank you very much. That's all I talk about today. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much.